How y'all doing? Checking in, still celebrating these black dads. Listen, I want to lift up Will Smith. I remember hearing the story, like how his dad taught him to chase his dreams, and they used building a wall. He tore a wall down and had Will and his brother like rebuild the wall brick by brick. Meaning, no matter how big the goal is, you can only approach it one step at a time. And it was interesting that Will was able to take that advice from his dad and use it in adulthood because he saw all facets of his dad. Like his dad abused his mother. His dad had him afraid at times, and yet still in the midst of it, he learned something from his father through the good experiences and the bad experiences that ushered him to become who he is now. And in him being a father, like he created a space where his children can express themselves, where their livelihoods are secure, and he support their art. So my challenge to the fathers listening, we all have good experiences and bad experiences, right? How can you learn from both and allow them to propel you into a fuller cycle of who you are and who you call to be? Have a good one.
And it was just myself and my little brother. And I remember standing back, looking at that wall saying, there's going to be a hole here forever. A year and a half later, we laid the final brick. Yeah. And my father stood back and he looked at me and my brother and said, now, don't y'all never tell me that you can't do something. And walked into the shop. And I learned very young, you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. Yeah. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. And soon you have a wall.
I used to define love, and I grew up with the definition of love being that you push and you mold and you jam people into achieving and building and growing. And what I realized with Willow, I sort of shifted from I guess what I would call the desire and pleasure paradigm of love. If somebody does what you say, you desire something, you want them to behave a certain way. And if they behave that way, you love them, right? So that's sort of the desire, pleasure paradigm of love. Hey, I'm going to give you this, and then you're going to behave like this, and we're going to love each other, right? And Willow sort of shifted me into more what I call the gardener flower paradigm of love, where the flower already is what God intends. It's a seed, and I take out what I want it to be, release what I want. I want it to be what it's intended to be. Right? So my definition of love shifted to a gardener. I just want to create a place, and I want to have water, and I want you to become what you want to become. I'm not going to demand that you become what I want you to become. And that was sort of the evolution and transition for me into loving Willow, and then ultimately everybody around me in helping them become what they want to become, not demanding that they be what I see in my picture. Well,